What's going on, guys? Long time no see. Right now, I am in Bakersfield, California, outside of Rain Man's RC. Here having some fun, doing some stuff for Raw Speed, and we found Ronnie D.
Hey.
So I have this thing here. This is Jason's car. It's his what is this, Ronnie? It's a B6.4. Okay. I drove it yesterday. It was interesting. Ronnie, I want you to see if you can confirm my suspicions, and then maybe we can fix it. My plan is I want you to drive that car. Tell me what you think about it, what it's doing, what it's not doing, what you might do to fix it.
All right.
In terms of, like, maybe if somebody came up to you and was like, hey, what do you think of my car? And then you drove that, like, what you would tell them to fix it.
Right, okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we're going to hand you the radio. You're going to go do some laps, and then we're going to dive into it, I guess. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Once again, jump out there, Derek. Jay comes out. Max Powell, you did take 5 minutes. Max jumped out there to Marshall. Joe, you'll take over for Max up there.
17-4. 23.3. 29.3.
Craig Patterson, he just hit 5 minutes. So, Angel, you're on your way up there, Angel.
3 flat. 17-6. 19-4. 18-3. 19 flat. 21.8.
So still got 9, so one more in.
29.2.
Jump out there and help us flip cars for 5 minutes, guys.
18-3. 17-9. 19 flat. 19-4. 23.1. 17 flat. 24.1.
Already in.
19-3.
Hey, Eric, we took someone out and crashed on the first 15 feet.
28.7.
It felt like the front end just overpowered the rear everywhere. And I think my theory on this is typically on a race setup, we'll run a stiffer front spring than a rear spring.
Okay, wait, hold on. Back up a second.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, if I look at this car, I couldn't tell you if this was, like, Spencer Rivkin's top secret world-winning setup or if this is how it comes out of the box. I don't know what that looks like. What do you see when you're looking at this car? Is this close to box, or what are we working with?
I'm pretty sure this is exactly box stock setup, which, don't get me wrong, the box stock setup is actually not that bad. It's just these conditions we have here are pretty high traction.
Okay.
You know, we're running wet slicks. There's a lot of traction, like instant one-to-one traction here.
Okay.
So in these conditions, the stock spring setup, which is a white and a white, is just a little bit too soft.
Too soft. So a lot of
yes.
weight transfer going on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go in the hobby shop. We might try and get some stuff here and try and make it better to keep things simple and not do like a mega tear down full rebuild. What are we gonna try and do?
Okay, so one thing we're gonna do right off the bat, stiffer front spring.
Stiffer front spring.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, stiffer front. Okay.
Yep, stiffer front spring is gonna mellow the steering and the input of the car down a lot. We might try and turn down the brakes a little bit. That should be an easy speed control setting. But the brakes were very aggressive when I drove it, so if we turn those down, we'll be able to come into the corners way more predictably and way more in control.
Are we gonna do anything with the rear diff? Did the rear diff feel okay?
Right, the rear diff, it's not too bad. As far as how tight it is, it's a little bit on the loose side for how high grip it is.
Okay.
So I'd say we're gonna tighten up the diff just maybe like an hour, and that'll just make the cornering a lot lot more smooth.
Predictable. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. All right. Well, let's go get those, slap it on, and do another run, and see how it goes.
Yep. Thank you.
But I know Tyler's going to try to take out our flag anyway, just for fun. That is a track cut, because the only way to land on...
I don't know if this is super official and the best way to go about it, but we've all been there. You're in a pinch, your suspension doesn't feel good, you go to take the spring off, and nice little surprise. So quick fix here with Ronnie. He's going to show you he's going to show you what's wrong, how to fix it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so whenever you show up to the track, your car, no matter where or when you did your shocks, there's most likely air in them.
Okay.
And you can see that real quick. Compress the shock, and it
rebounds a lot.
Rebounds about half the stroke. That means that's all air. So
That's bad.
yeah, that's
So how are we going to fix it?
so. This is the cheesy, easy way to do it.
I like cheesy easy.
So I just compress the shock, let it extend out as far, rebound out, and then I'll pop the bleeder screw. Go ahead and pop that thing out, and then I'll bleed it that amount.
Oh wow, look, it's coming right out.
In this case, the mechanic may have overfilled the shock. And then...
Oh yeah, and then you got to show me what it looks like, and it'll be a lot more.
Yeah, so now, once you have the correct amount of oil and there's no air in the shock, your shock should function properly.
Oh.
And you're not getting that rebound, and ultimately on the track, that'll make your car feel a little bit up in the suspension and loose in some parts, and maybe a little bit, the car won't be as planted as you want it to be.
Nice. Speed pro tip with Ronnie.
So the easiest thing to remember is simply land on the top flat, and then you... Yes, he's right to the track.
Shit looks to work. It's offset.
Bruce Burton has Yeah, 6:30 right?
Okay, Ronnie.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, beautiful. So we fixed the suspension, sort of.
Yep.
Now we're gonna do. Oh, and the diff. So the diff is ready. Now we're gonna do the thingy.
Yeah, the thingy.
What did you do to the radio before we started?
Okay, so on the radio, what we're going to do is we're going to recalibrate the ESC because the calibration on the brake side was a little bit off. So we turn the brakes back up to 100.
100. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you'll see it right here. Boom. Brakes 100.
Okay.
And we're going to recalibrate it, and that's going to set everything to a good baseline 100. And then we're gonna, after we recalibrate it, we're gonna turn the brakes down to a more practical level to where we can hit the brakes all the way without the rear tires locking up and us skidding off the track. So,
Okay, I like it. All right, let's go.
all right, so this is, normally I run a Reedy speed control, but this speed control is pretty much the same process. So we're gonna go ahead and recalibrate. Wait for the beep. One for neutral, one for gas, one for brake, and then we're good to go. All right, so you see, we got a whole lot of brake here.
Nice. But we're gonna dial that in on the track.
Yeah, we're gonna turn it down, and it's something you can do a lap, hit the brakes a couple times, feel it, and then turn it down until finally, normally I turn it down until the car almost free rolls, and then I'll go up maybe 10. And that's
Okay.
normally on the radio, that ends up being about 65 to 75% of the braking strength.
Okay, I like it. All right, we're gonna set ride height a little bit maybe, and then we're gonna throw it down.
Yes, sir.
All right.
19-4. 23.
You got 2 pockets into the pit. The Angel been up there waiting for you when I came off the track.
19-4.
I know, that's good.
We're gonna come into this corner, and when you hit the brakes all the way, your car the rear tires will lock up completely, and you'll end up spinning out. And the car is really hard to control when when your brakes are that powerful. So to fix this, you'll find a good spot on the track to pull over, obviously not in someone's way, and then you'll go ahead and turn down your brake rate. Normally I'll do increments of 10 or 15, so we'll go do 85, and we'll try and come into the same corner and use full brakes and attack, and if it does the same thing, then we'd know that we'll need a little bit more. All right, so now we have the brakes turned all the way down to 70, and we'll try and come into the corner, and it's quite a bit better.
So we just saw Ronnie, I'm filming myself, not you right now. I'll film you in a second. So Ronnie just put up the car, laid it down. He's very familiar with the B6-4 platform, the B6, B6 1, 2, and 3. He's probably driven them all, so he knows that car inside and out. He can get it working. So it was really cool to see him get comfortable with the car and make some improvements. So we'll just ask him how he felt and see if he would suggest those are some good changes and that you guys could try it or do it if you're struggling as well. So you did the thing. Did the car feel better?
Oh yeah, it was a huge improvement, definitely. The car was way more controllable, way more manageable in the heavy braking areas, and I could string together a lot more laps consistently that were, on point, I'd say.
So before, bullet point, like run us through again, what was the car doing, and then what we did and how it changed, just like quick summary.
Okay, quick summary. We, just throwing the car straight down, really unpredictable handling, really aggressive steering, and uncontrollable brakes. Those were the main points. So
okay.
I couldn't seem to hit my corners consistently. I was either coming in too hot and spinning out, or coming in too cautiously because I was kind of nervous about what the car would do. So that's what the car was doing from pack 1.
Okay. Then we did the springs.
Yep.
Reset the ESC to neutral settings, and then programmed the brakes to where we wanted.
Yep.
And we fixed the diff a little bit. And then our speed pro tip that we didn't anticipate was bleeding the shocks because they were a little bit too packed up.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So we did all that. Then the car did what?
The car really, I don't want to use the term came alive, but it was just way more manageable for for you to go out there and you could actually use all the wheel, and I could go out there and attack the corners a lot more aggressively without not knowing what the car is going to do coming in. So the brakes were a huge improvement. I could come into the corner and have consistent feel. I could get the car slowed down without it stepping out. The front spring kept the car way more controlled entering corners and mid-corner. The car was a lot more supported. And the tighter diff was a big improvement also. That really just made a smooth rotation through the corners, so you could hold the same line every lap. And I'd say those three things together were what made the car what gave it such a big improvement.
I wanted this video to be practical advice with very simple fundamental changes, and I thought it was really cool to see a drastic improvement.
Oh yeah.
We're not talking about top secret things that nobody has or takes years to understand. It was a spring,
Right.
basic retune of the ESC, diff.
Right.
And the car was infinitely better.
And if I could add something, I see a lot of people at the track, searching for this crazy voodoo type setup, with, drilling holes in pistons and stuff. But really the biggest improvement for me, even when my best races have always been on simple setups where I'm just finding something really practical and something that I can really familiar with, and then I can do the same thing every single lap with. I've never been successful finding this, that magical setup that no one's ever found before. If you follow the practical, setup checklist, my car's always been very competitive that way.
Hopefully this encourages you guys that if you're not winning or you're not comfortable with your car, it's probably not that far off. Just a couple fundamental changes and you'll get her dialed. Do I know what those changes are that you need for your car? No, I don't. But go to the local guys, get some box stock setups, go back to the fundamentals and just do some simple small changes, and you're not that far away from a dialed setup. We did it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.